welcome back to Cottoverdi. My name's Annette and today is the April seedling update. So I'm going to show you the progress for all the seedlings for everything that I've sown so far this year. I'm going to show you how I'm taking care of them, how I'm feeding them, how I'm hardening them off, how I'm potting them on, and I'll just let you see what's going on with my stash of seedlings. I also have some super exciting news to show you that I will include in this video. It's a little bit echoey. I have turned all the lights off on my seedling racks. They're normally on, but they flash when I'm filming, so that's why they're not on at the moment. I also have some little fans that are normally going, and I've turned those off too, just for the purposes of filming. So just so you know, I normally have lights on for 16 hours a day, and the fans are going just to strengthen the seedlings up. Let me show you the seedlings. I'm just going to take you through each shelf and let you see what's going on. Bear in mind that nothing is perfect. So we have situations where things could be done a little bit better, and I'll let you know what those are. Starting with this top shelf here, I will admit to everybody, first off, that these are my Lisianthus, and as you can see quite clearly, I haven't potted them on, and so they haven't grown. So these are Roseanne Clear Green. To be honest with you, I'm at the stage now where I'm wondering whether I'm even going to pot these on and plant them out this year. I may do one or two, but I have a feeling that I've left it a little bit late. Because I haven't separated them, they're just crowding each other out. I should have thinned them quite a long time ago, and I've neglected them in order to get on with other jobs. So this is what my Lisianthus look like. These two pots of grass at the back are Hordeum jubatum, and they're growing really well. They probably need potting on now. I'm getting quite decent sized plants. I've actually got two plants in here. I may not split it, but I had pretty good germination on them, and I just think these are going to be lovely grasses, but they're definitely at a point where I could pot them on now. This is my steeper. I sowed this on the 10th of January. So these also could probably do with a little bit of potting on. It's not urgent to pot on the grasses as long as we're giving them a feed. So they've been doing absolutely fine in here. I just think the foxtail barley at the back there it's reaching the lights, so it definitely needs to start moving out. This is the prairie bluegrass that I sowed at the end of March, and I had 1, 2, 3 germinate. That's a weed which we'll take out. So not fantastic germination on the blue prairie grass that I sowed inside. This is the Francoa. This is Rogerson's form, and I was so excited to have germination on this, but it's been pretty slow growing. I think I need to prick them out to give them a bit more room, and then maybe they'd just get on a bit better. I have been feeding them in here, but I've just been a little bit slow about potting these on. These are the Adenophora that I sowed in February. These are ladybells, and they're doing super well. I haven't thinned them, and I should have done. So this is definitely a job that I need to be getting on with. This is one of my sowings of Gilia or Gilia, and it's the Felicitas mix. I think they're called Bird's Eye. And this has been super slow. I'm going to show you the other Bird's Eye that I have, and you'll be able to see the difference. But this one germinated really slowly, and it's just growing on really slowly. So I haven't potted it on. They are being fed on a regular basis, but that's how we're looking at the moment. This is a hardy perennial that I sowed on the 28th of March, Monarda Bergamo, and these need to be thinned out. They shouldn't all be crowding in a cell like this. So I was just waiting for them to get a little bit bigger before I potted them on. These are dwarf larkspurs, butterfly larkspurs, and they really could do with going outside in all honesty, but I need to pot them on. I need to thin some of them, and they are looking a little bit like they need some food, but they are being fed. I just think they would do much better if they were thinned, if they weren't two to a cell, and also if they just got potted onto bigger pots. So I sowed very few Achillea or yarrow this year, but this is one of the ones that I sowed. It's called Love Parade, and it's just really useful. It's useful in the garden and it's useful in flower arrangements and things like that. And these could probably do, that one needs dividing, but these could probably do with potting on. And again, this is fairly hardy, so if I put it on, they'll be able to go outside. This is my Aquilegia from the purple striped Aquilegia that I have in my garden. That is, as far as I'm concerned, a new variety. I've called it Aquilegia Cottoverdi, and these are the seedlings. I don't think they're going to come true, but I think it'll be really fun to just see how these do. These could probably do with potting on as well, giving them some new compost and just gradually moving them outside because they're going to be hardy. These are my didiscus or lace flowers. Now, as you can probably see from the super limey leaves with pink tinges, these are not doing well. They're not looking healthy. They haven't really grown much recently. I'm trying not to overwater them, but for some reason they don't look particularly healthy. And then the last thing on this shelf is some Nigella. This one that's germinated really well is called Albion Black Pod, and the one at the front where I've had very little germination is called Blue Stars. So it's just a bit slower. This is why I don't like sowing two different things in one tray, because you get different germination on them, and then they require different feeding and different watering. So this is my other shelf here of seed starts. At the front here we have my cosmos. I've had some fairly sporadic germination. My Black Magic hasn't germinated at all, and some of the others are kind of a little bit wimpy, but a lot of it is doing really well. Now, you probably think these are quite leggy, but I find this happens to my cosmos every year, that they grow really tall, really fast, and then they're fine. So what I tend to do is when I pot them on, I kind of twirl the stem around and bury them up to this leaf here. So I go past the seed leaves and bury the cosmos up to this point when I'm potting them on. And then they're absolutely fine. So I don't worry about my cosmos getting leggy. I find that it just happens. I've never been able to grow really short cosmos. You're probably going to tell me that the lights are too far away, but I have my lights at the same level for everything that I grow, and these are the only things that I find get leggy every single year. So these 4 trays here are my poppies. I'm a little bit embarrassed about the state of my poppies. I haven't potted them on, and I definitely should have done. They're not looking very healthy. They really do need to be potted on. They need to be thinned out. There's no way I should have this many. I mean, look how leggy they are. I don't even know if they're going to survive, to be honest. Some of them I've had really poor germination on. So this is Poppy Giganteum. I only had 3 germinate. But yeah, I'm not sure what to do about the poppies. I'll make a decision when I do all my potting on this weekend, whether I'm going to pot them on. But you can see the leaves are yellowing because I haven't thinned them out. Hopefully I can save some of them. That's definitely what I'm hoping. My lilac peony poppies, I only had 2 germinate. Don't know what happened with these. I definitely sowed in every cell. These are my black swan. They're looking very yellow and sad. And these look even worse. This is Amazing Grey, which I really, really wanted. Maybe I'm not going to have a very successful poppy season. I think the reason that I haven't done anything with the poppies is simply because they look so sad and so sick. And so I just kind of gave up on them. And you know what? That happens. Other things take priority. Like, for instance, the Erigeron Covinscianus. Look at this. Now, if there was one thing I would tell everybody to sow, because it's so easy, it's Erigeron Covinscianus. This is Mexican fleabane. It is the prettiest, most floriferous daisy. It will keep going all summer long. I've got 2 trays here that are doing really well, and I've got some out in the garden hardening off that I potted on ages ago, and I'll show you those later on in this video. But these definitely could do with being potted on. This is another tray of Nigella. This one on the right hand side is Transformer. This one is Hispanica. I got absolutely nothing from Hispanica at all. I don't know why. Some seeds germinate and some don't. And then at the back here, these really lovely green things are my Statice. So I've got really good germination on all of my Statice. I find Statice quite easy to grow. This one here is Iceberg down this side, and down this side is the Sunset Mix. This other one here, down this side this is rose shades. And on this side I have Seeker Blue, which I love. There's one seedling here which has still got a little seed cap on it. This is my Bupleurum fructuosum, which is a hardy perennial Bupleurum. So the fact that I've just got one, to me, that is absolutely brilliant. I am delighted about my one little seedling. So I'm treasuring this. I don't dare pull the little seed cap off it because I'm worried it will damage the seed leaves, and it needs its seed leaves. So I'm just leaving it to do its thing at the moment. It took absolutely ages for that to grow. I sowed those on the 22nd of February and they've only just germinated. Well, it's only just germinated, I've only got one. This is Nicotiana affinis and they're all doing really well. So those will be able to go outside soon. This is a tray of Rudbeckia Irish Eyes, which is so beautiful. Absolutely stunning Rudbeckia. I've got loads of it this year. I don't know if I'm going to need this many plants. This is my one heliotrope, which is a cherry pie plant. It actually looks like it needs a little bit of water. Let me give that some water. This is my one successful seedling of Moore's rosenweed, and that's looking pretty good. It's quite slow growing. I've got one Salvia hyans. It's looking pretty weak and feeble, but that's the only one that germinated. I don't understand why my Salvia didn't do well. All of these are Achillea or yarrow. I've got summerberries, I've got cerise, and I think I've just got one cerise. But those will be able to go outside very soon. In fact, I could probably take those outside today. And then this is a tray of Nicotiana crimson bedder, which is the most gorgeous deep rosy pink coloured Nicotiana. I absolutely love it. So on this side over here, I've got larkspur. It's too small to go outside. I've got fancy white with a bee. I've got pink perfection. I've got salmon beauty. And at the back is a whole tray of smoky eyes. Smoky eyes is one of my favourite larkspurs, so that's why I've got a whole tray of it. This is my Bupleurum graffiti eyes. So some of them look pretty good, and some of them are looking less good. It kind of looks like I may have overwatered them. They haven't got damping off yet, but those yellow leaves indicate to me that they may have been overwatered. So perhaps they were just a bit small before, when I potted them on, and then that's what happens. If you put them on too fast, there's too much compost, and so the roots get too wet. So everything in this tray here are the seeds that I sowed really recently. You can catch that video on my channel, but these are all seeds that they all said to sow them directly outside, but I wanted to get a head start. So I sowed them into little pots like this. So I sowed all of these on the 28th of March. This is blue woodruff. It's doing super well, looking really healthy and cute. So I'm really happy with that. This is Viscaria, which is German catchfly. I definitely think I need to thin these. And these I'm so excited about. These are called baby blue eyes or Nemophila, and they've all germinated really well. Look how healthy those plants look. So I'm probably going to have to thin these. I was also going to sow these direct outside into my pots, but I have a feeling that I don't need to sow any of them direct now because they have all germinated really well and they're looking super healthy at the moment. Do you remember I showed you the Gilia felicitas mix that was doing really badly? I showed you that earlier. This is the Gilia tricolor. I think these need, I have a fan blowing on them, but it feels to me like they need a bit of strengthening. So I think these, as soon as it warms up this week, I'm going to be putting these outside. Over here, this is a mixed tray of various different things. I've got some Nicotiana lime green that are quite small. I had poor germination on my lime green this year, and I'm not sure why, because I really like it and I just wanted lots of it, so that's a shame. At the back, I've got some Melope Rose and some Melope Vulcan. These were tiny little seedlings that I potted on, and you can see that they're yellowing a little bit, so I think possibly they've been overfed rather than overwatered. But hopefully they'll bounce back. They've got green leaves in the centre. And then this tray here, this is Clarkia memoria, and some of them look okay and they're growing, albeit slowly. And then some of them just look like, I don't know, they're annoyed with me. I don't know what's going on with the leaves there. That could have been overwatering, maybe they dried out a bit, but you can see that I'm getting little side shoots. I will probably pinch them in the near future, but I just want them to green up and grow a little bit before I do that. So here I've got some Clarkia that's doing a bit better. This is Clarkia May Blossom, and you can see that I've pinched it. They were getting quite tall, but I probably could start hardening this off. It's got some nice big leaves. It seems to be doing really well. At the back I've got Apple Blossom. So this is a tray of Apple Blossom, and I've also pinched these. You can see I pinched them at the top there. This is a whole tray of Nicotiana glutinosa. This tray here is a tray of Gadisha. This one is Shell Pink, and they're just growing slowly. I mean, they're definitely branching. I've pinched one or two of the taller ones. So this one's been pinched. I have got 2 trays of Phlox Creme Brulee. These are doing really well, nice and tall. I would really like to be able to put these outside, but we've just had such cold temperatures. On this side here, these are Rudbeckia Sahara. Some of them are doing really well at the back here. And then these are my Echinacea. So I've got Echinacea purpurea, and these are Echinacea White Swan. I mean, look how tiny that one is. And this is my Clarkia White. Now you can probably see that I've had a lot of leaf drop, and I think it's because they got a little bit dry at one point. This is Gilia. This one is called Queen Anne's Thimble. It's a capitata. So this one is different, and it will have, I think it has flowers in like a ball shape. So I'm quite excited about these, but again, these are quite slow growing. They're not growing very fast. So I've had some super exciting progress here in the little seedlings that I have in the cold frame. So these have been exposed to the elements the entire time, and I have just had one little bit of germination on my Anthericum ramosum. Now I would describe this as a plant that looks a little bit like Gaura, but I've had one seedling germinate. I don't think that's grass. I think that is actually, that could be 2 seedlings germinated. The other exciting discovery, and I literally only discovered this morning, and that is I've had 2 clematis seeds germinate. So they're both in this pot. And this is the only progress I've had on clematis. So this one is called Artangany Double Light Pink. And this one is called I Am Stanislaus. And they are absolutely tiny, but I have definitely got germination. That's the I Am Stanislaus, and this is the Double Light Pink. And these are the clematis seeds that I had sent from Ukraine. And if you don't know that story, then please do take a look at my clematis video, because it's really important to me to support this family in Ukraine. And I couldn't be more happy. These seedlings here are so precious to me. I always feel like it looks a little bit like a garden centre now that I've got everything on racks. Every morning I wheel these in and out from my kitchen. It's just where we have them stored overnight. So I wheel them out first thing in the morning, and I only bring them in at night when it gets dark. Like when it's actually dark, then I'll bring them in because I want them to get used to the colder temperatures that we're getting in the evenings. But I also want to make sure they get absolutely as much sunlight as possible. Now, I don't wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning and bring them out when the sun rises. I just bring them out, you know, at about 7:30 or 8 when I'm having my breakfast. They come outside, and then I load them all onto the ground, onto the steps here. On the top of each rack, and I leave them here all day long, are my dahlias. I'm not going to go through those because I've just been through them in a separate video and there really isn't much change. They're just growing on nicely, and I just leave them up there because they're quite heavy. So these are all the dahlias that I'm hardening off, the ones that have shoots. If they don't have shoots, they're not out here. But that's all I'm saying about the dahlias for today. We're going to focus on the seedlings. This is a tray of Costa Summer Lavender. They're doing fairly well. Have I pinched any of them? I've pinched this one. So I only pinch them when they get sort of big enough. I wouldn't pinch them if they were little. In fact, this one, can you see? I mean, not all my seedlings are perfect. This one looks a bit sad and droopy. It's possible it was overwatered at one point, or it was out in the rain too much. These plants, when they're outside during the day, they are literally out here come rain or shine, through hailstorms, everything. So if it rains, they get rained on. So sometimes they could get a little bit wet. It's also why I feed them, because the rain will wash out the nutrients from the compost more quickly than if they were indoors or in a greenhouse. These are more snapdragons. These are bridal pink. You can see that I've pinched a lot of them and the leaves are looking a little bit leathery, but they've been out in, you know, they've got really nice strong stems. Again, they've been out in all the weather. Some of the leaves are looking a little bit yellow. Can you see these here? That basically just means that it needs feeding. So I'm going to feed them all today and I'm going to show you how I'm doing that. This whole tray here is Potomac lavender. Again, snapdragons. These are Potomac royal. This is another tray of snapdragons. These are Potomac apple blossom. And they're looking good. You can see that I've pinched loads of them, and these are, you know, where it's starting to branch here. This tray has got some of the larkspur that came out earlier because it was growing much faster, doing really well. These are Carmine King. This is exquisite blue spire. I think I've got 3 exquisite blue spire. These are all Carmine King. So this is a hardy perennial called Mulla Mulla plant, or Patulus joey, and I sowed it on the 7th of February. So these are doing really well. I'm really happy with that. I've got 6 plants. These are snapdragons called the Rose. I've grown this one for years and years and years. I think this is the end of my seed packet. These are more snapdragons. These are called double shot peach. And then this one, these are Madam Butterfly white snapdragons. And then on the end here, I've got 3 plants. I grew these from seed and I'm so chuffed. I'm absolutely chuffed. This is a persicaria called cerise pearls. I grew these from seed. Persicaria from seed. I'm so happy. This tray to me is super exciting. This is poor man's orchid, or schizanthus. Look how well they're doing. I'm not even sure they should be outside yet, but look, I have a flower. It's flowering already. Now, I have pinched these because I looked it up to see whether I should pinch them, and it said to pinch them. I wasn't sure where because it hasn't got a normal branching habit, but let me see if I can show you. So it has been pinched. Can you see where I pinched it? These are double shot apple blossom snaps, and on the end here I've got Malope Vulcan. These are some snaps that aren't looking so good. Some of them are a little bit yellow. This is Potomac Ivory White. It's just started raining on me. These are Madam Butterfly watermelon. I've never grown the watermelon before. I've got a whole tray of watermelon. I'm really excited about the colour of these. So the snaps in here are Potomac red, and then on the front here I've got 3 of the phlox creme brulee. They're not very happy. I think they prefer to be in the warmth. This one, clearly dead. These snaps are Potomac dark orange. They're looking like they need a bit of water. Can you see the droopy leaves? They're a bit floppy. They definitely need some water. And these larkspur here are misty lavender. I love misty lavender. Such a pretty colour. This tray of snaps is probably my least healthy. These are Legend Light Pink. Look at the yellowing of the leaves. So I've got some dark leaves, but the young leaves are very yellow, and I just think that maybe they had too much rain when they were too little, but they definitely need some food. That is a sure sign that they're hungry. This is a whole tray of Malope. So I've got Malope Alba, these darker ones here. In the middle we've got Malope Vulcan, the ones I love, and on the end here we've got Malope Rose. I do hope you're enjoying this. This is my last final rack that's outside at the moment. So what do we have here? Got some more snaps. These are Costa Silva. These are Madam Cherry Bronze. They feel like they need water. So these snaps on the end here are new to me. One is dead. These are Mini Butterfly Blush. I mean, they're supposed to be dwarf, but I don't know. I'm not super excited about the look of those. These are Scabiosa, or pincushion flowers on the end, and these are double red. This one probably could do with pinching. You don't have to pinch your pincushions, but I'll pinch it in a bit. I'm not going to pinch it today. Here I've got 2 more schizanthus that didn't fit in the other tray. Here I've got Eryngium white glitter. It's a hardy perennial, super excited. It's got a little bit of yellowing, but I just think that's the older leaves. I'm not too worried about that, to be honest, because all the centre parts are green. And then at the back here, these are my climbing snapdragons. So this is called Acerina. And look, I'm so excited about climbing snapdragons. This tray is super exciting. These are penstemons. So some more hardy perennials that I grew from seed. So I have got penstemon coral over here. They did really well. They were my newest penstemon seeds. So I do feel like I need to have fresh seed because all the other penstemons I sowed, these are the only ones, the only two varieties that germinated. I just think it's because the other seed was old. It's really raining on me now. And these on the end here, these are chocolate drop. So again, probably could do with a little bit of food, but they're doing quite well. Now I did say I had some more Mexican fleabane or Erigeron covinscanus, and that is the majority of this tray. There is a little bit of scabiosa on the end. These are burgundy bow. Burgundy bow is that row on the end, but all of these are Mexican fleabane. And to be honest with you, my seedlings have done so much better than the plug plants that I bought from a nursery at vast expense and planted under my rose arch. I've not seen a whisper of a leaf from any of those, but look at these. So I'd say grow from seed. So in this tray, I've got some more of the climbing snapdragons, some flocks of sheep here, which is really pretty, gorgeous colours. I've got some more pink ocean flowers. So I've got Merlot red, and burgundy bow and Beaujolais bonnets. So those are all the seedlings that are outside hardening off. This is it. Actually, it's probably quite a lot. I've also put all my dahlias down there today because today is a watering and feeding day. So I'm going to get on and do that now. Now I will water everything before I feed it because I feel like it's really important, because when we're feeding the plants, we don't give them loads of water, we just give them some food. So they do need to be wet before we start. So I'm just going to give them a water with the hose and then I'm going to feed them. I completely forgot to hit the record button when I was watering everything, but I have just given everything a good drenching. I'm going to feed the plants. I am going to use the sprayer that I use to feed my roses. So if you've seen that video, it's the same sprayer, and I will add the same caveat that I really don't like the sprayer very much, but it's very convenient for me and I don't want to buy another one. But this one's just a little bit cumbersome. I'm not going to recommend it. I do recommend getting a battery powered sprayer or an electric sprayer if you can, and you've got a lot of plants to feed, because it really does help matters. Just don't get the same one as me. So my container takes 16 litres of water. I am using Maxi Crop. This is not an advert, but just in case you're interested in what I'm using Maxi Crop, and it says for growing on to use 45 mils in 9 litres. So I need sort of twice 45 mils. So I've shown you all my seedlings that I've got going at the moment. I've shown you my exciting news with the clematis that are growing, and I'm just so delighted about that. Do follow Alla and support her if at all possible. That's just me saying let's support somebody in a war-torn country. I know there are loads of war-torn countries at the moment, but this is something that I feel like we can do as gardeners. Anyway, I have fed everything and watered them all in. What I haven't done is shown you how I pot them on, but I feel like this video is going to be really long. Anyway, I really hope you've enjoyed the video and found it as exciting as I'm finding it to grow things from seed. If you've enjoyed it, do give it a like. It really does help me. Just hit the like button below. And if you're new and you'd like to see how all these plants do in my garden over the coming seasons, then subscribe to my channel and join us. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all next time.